Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. In this video, we're going to be reacting to Elvis Presley and the Black community. The echo will never die. All right, so I've just recently started reacting to Elvis Presley songs, and prior to that, my understanding of Elvis has always been a little bit skewed. It's always been people saying that, oh, he's just shakes his legs and stuff like that, or that's what I have seen as an advert of Elvis and all this sort of stuff. I never actually knew the things that I knew or I've come to realize about Elvis. So learning about this man's song and how he actually performs kind of gives me a different perspective. And following that, I've been getting a lot of recommendation for me to react to this. So, without any further ado, people, let's go check it out. Let's go.
I thought he was a very beautiful, and still is, a very beautiful person, and his memories shall probably forever live on.
Well, you ain't nothing but a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine. There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
We've set up a 20-man committee to do away with this vulgar, animalistic, nigger rock and roll bop. Our committee will check with the restaurant owners and the cafes to see what Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
You've learned anything from the criticism leveled at you?
What? What? He was labeled for dancing and singing. Okay, hold on a second.
To see what Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
You've learned anything from the criticism leveled at you?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, huh?
Because I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. The crying time.
Rock and roll has got to go. And go it does at KWK. We're all through playing rock and roll records. This week is record-breaking week here at KWK. And after this week, no more rock and roll will be played on the air.
The obscenity and vulgarity of the rock and roll music is obviously a means by which the white man and his children can be driven to the level with the nigger. It is obviously nigger music.
Everybody mostly turned him down. And because first thing, he had Negroes' ways. This is what they didn't, really at that time, they didn't want to accept.
By black performers, and he, in essence, because of at that particular time, the kind of backwards mental capability that many people had as judging a person because of the color of their skin, as somewhat still does exist. But back then it was worse, and he actually, because of him being a Caucasian brother, he was able to do away with that whole thing.
He's 77-year-old Early Wright, a disc jockey at radio station WROX in Clarksdale for 45 years.
Hi there. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? This is your soul man to be with you until I get through. I want you to stand by, don't have no fear. Following Jay's show, should I play one like this one from out of here? Elvis Presley.
Elvis's songs still get good play on Wright's program among the blues, gospel, and jazz recordings that are its staples. It was almost 40 years ago when Elvis drove down to Clarksdale from Memphis with a record and asked him to play it.
And I had been playing his record, and I had never seen him before, and I was amazed to see him. When he introduced himself to being Elvis Presley, then I went all the pieces over him. Then he and I started talking. I used to be the manager of a gospel group called the 4-Star Quartet. And I could listen to a man sing a hymn. I could listen to a man sometime talk. I did that. And I could pick him out whether he could fit in my group. And talking to Elvis Presley, I could see a great future in him.
It's no accident that Wright recognized Elvis's strong gospel roots. Here at the East Trigg Baptist Church in Memphis, older members of the congregation remember Elvis joining in with the choir while in high school. These were rousing sessions led by the charismatic pastor, the Reverend W. Herbert Brewster.
Like most black people in the South, and to whose throat God has pressed down a harp of 1,000 strings, it only needed tuning. Elvis's voice was that type of voice that agreed with the thought of Calvary. He had that kind of bent and inclination and attitude that suggested that God could use him. I gave the music a different approach, a new beat. I knew that it wasn't going to hurt if I said, "Must Jesus bear the cross alone," whether I've said with 1 beat, 2 beat, whether I've said it high or low. And I told them, "Come on in here and put your stuff together." They came in here, and it was a glorious experience, and Elvis was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very creative. And once he got into it, and you got that feel, Elvis just took off like a late freight. And with
took off like a what? Late flame. But hold on a second. So we're 5 minutes into this. The people that seem to be accepting Elvis are the people that don't look like him. That's very interesting. That's not what I thought. I'll share my thoughts at the end. But completely different. I'll let you...
Experience, and Elvis was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very creative. And once he got into it, and you got that feel, Elvis just took off like a late freight. And with Elvis doing this kind of music, gave an injection to black music that no other artist had ever done.
It was like an earthquake in my neighborhood. The whole place was shaking when he came on. And I said, how did a person possess that kind of power? That it even comes off the TV and grab me in this ghetto neighborhood.
Elvis took my Tutti Frutti, and I was very disgusted. But by him singing it, he really made it bigger and made me bigger.
During those days, if it was a white artist doing something, they would just say, they don't like our blacks and we don't like them either. He's nothing but a copycat. But Elvis Presley, when he came on, chicks was screaming and going crazy, and it was like any other neighborhood. And I said, this guy's got something going, man.
Elvis had something that made him sound like he truly meant it, and that's what made a lot of people like myself like him.
I think Elvis had lots of soul. He appealed to black people. He definitely had to have soul in order to do that.
I think there's ever been an artist that when his name went on the marquee, they knew he was coming. People came from all over the world. I never heard of that.
Elvis did a lot of stuff that, rappers do these days.
He had the bling. You gotta have the bling when you're from Memphis.
He had the bling, he had a Cadillac, he had like a gangster in it. As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
The song also resonates with people who've only met Elvis through his songs.
Elvis talking about the hood, they talking about where we come from.
Paul Beauregard and Jordan Houston are the Oscar-winning rap duo 3-6 Mafia. They grew up just 2 blocks from Graceland in one of Memphis's poorest neighborhoods.
I want a CD scratcher.
My mom used to always listen to the song when I was young. He talked about, you know, things that she went through. You know, she had like, you know, my mom had a bunch of kids, like 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get somebody to listen to your song. You talk about what they know about and what they want to hear. And she know about the ghetto, because, you know, she lived in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
That's it.
And his mama cries. But if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
After we find the part on the record that we want to use, we sample it into the drum machine.
He sang this song. I think I've heard a little bit of it before. He's the one that sang this song. Oh, okay. Gonna have to go check that out.
One thing that she don't need is another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
After we find the part on the record that we want to use, we sample it into the drum machine or the keyboard. That way we can loop it like.
My first line says, first I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. So it's just like the struggle, you know, what's going on in the hood. First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. And I was off beat, but it's all good, cause it's on TV. maybe do some edits, make me look cool, maybe put my name in the credits.
And once we have all that ready, you know, we load it into the drum machine and then pay out.
So he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto.
Survival is an everyday task. Watching your back for the man wearing the mask. I say you might get stuck if you in the hood looking like you came up. We ride old school whips, high off the ground, right beside a player hill. It ain't bad as it seems. We still stay fly, looking so clean. First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. And still broke, cause I'm sleeping on apartment floors. The junkies get up, kick when they smoke a brick. I never seen a drug dealer ever call it quits. The hood struggle is to make you gotta get the change. See, every day is like a dark cloud full of rain. The feds tapping for it's dangerous when you hood trapping. So don't get lost in the sauce slinging, cold crackling.
People don't realize the weight of emotions and truth that comes with telling your story and being able to tell it good. And it sounds like my man here.
In the sauce slinging, cold crackling.
So help your brother along the way, no matter where he starts. But the same God that made you made him too. These men with broken hearts.
During the 60s and early 70s, when tensions between blacks and whites were at an all-time high, Elvis demonstrated his desire for racial reconciliation in the musicians that he chose and the treatment they received.
When we first decided to take the gig with Elvis, we had no idea that there would be any racial flack regarding it. Our first racial encounter was when we went to Texas. Elvis was told by his people that, well, you can leave the black girls home. You don't have to bring them. So Elvis wasn't going to do the Astrodome unless his girls could be with him. And he demanded that we be given the star treatment. We had to be in our convertible where everybody could see us, and our little blonde could drive us. And that was his statement. You don't like it? Deal with it, or I'm not going to be there. And I thought that was very big of him.
When I joined the group in 1972, they took a big chance because there were no blacks in contemporary or Southern gospel music, and I was the first one, and it made all the headlines and everything. It was in Billboard and all the newspapers in Tennessee. And my first time meeting Elvis was, he had a a folder full of clippings of things that he had read about me. As a matter of fact, the Imperials brought me to his suite, and he gave me this folder with all the clippings, and he personally welcomed me into the family. And for a guy who, you know, didn't really know where he stood, this was very important, that he acknowledged my presence and, you know, made me feel very much a part of what we were all doing. And right away, he treated me like he'd known me for years. He gave me one of those TCB chains and everything, and I was just one of the guys, and I never forgot that.
And I'd been around him with other people of color, and I've only seen him give love.
Oh my days. In a time of heightened discrimination, you're at the top of your game, and it is easier to just do as everybody else are doing. But you choose to do the opposite. My days. How much respect can you feel for somebody like that that does their homework on you? Not about how negative you are as a person, but what makes you you. And they personally welcome you to the group. Oh my days.
One of the guys, and I never forgot that.
And I'd been around him with other people of color, and I've only seen him give love. He was very generous to people that he didn't even know. You didn't have to be of any racial persuasion for him to love you.
And you know, you know how rumors get started when there's a big star or something. The people will start rumors. Well, he doesn't like this kind of people, or he doesn't like those people or that people. And I never got that from him.
But you know, Elvis is a whole nother thing. It's just, I think it's scary to even be compared to people in that, like, you know what I mean? Because he's such a big talent, and in his absence, of course he's bigger than in his presence. And music marks time, so in this time period, what Elvis was to his period would be something totally different. Well, I think rock and roll, I mean, what he brought to Vegas is more than rock and roll. I mean, I think it's just so much going on out here on the entertainment front. Like right now, you'll see the likes of Celine Dion and Tony Braxton. It's a lot going out here. You know what I mean? As far as rock and roll is concerned, it's great. I mean, Elvis Presley was able to do things that haven't been able to be duplicated to this day.
Black American music influenced Elvis. The fact that people say, well, he's the king of it all, king of rock and roll, is a slap in the face to those that made the music possible in the first place. Not to say he wasn't brilliant. I think he was a fantastic, talented singer.
I don't think he ripped them off. I think once something has been exposed, anyone can add or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, so hot, so anything that he played, it became a hit.
Yeah, but that's normal though, isn't it? What did the other guy mean that it was a slap in the face? What did he mean? Now, wait till the end.
Anyone can add or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, so hot, so anything that he played, it became a hit. To me, they didn't make a mistake when they called him the king.
Only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune.
He was a bundle of energy set to music. And that echo will never die.
Oh my days. That's a beautiful. I don't know what this one is, but they said there's a part 2. I'm gonna need to check that one out as well.
I thought he was a very beautiful and still is.
Al Green. I've got no idea who this guy is, by the way. Should I? Is there anything I need to be checking out about him? I just thought I can point that out there. Okay. So you see what that guy said at the end, where he said it felt like a slap in the face because people call him the king when it was black people that originally introduced rock and roll. Now, it's that sort of mentality that creates division. If somebody is good at what they're doing and they're able to create something spectacular, why are we looking for a reason to diminish the greatness of that person? We all have our individual skill and talent and greatness. And when we find ourselves in that place, in our element, that's where you see the light kind of shine out of you. I've only been watching this guy not so long now, and what I knew or heard about him before was that sort of nonsense. Like, um, okay, because he was white, that was the only reason why he turned out to be great. If because black people had been doing it way before he started, and there was no recognition for that. And also the leg shaking sort of stuff, black people have been doing it for time, and there was no recognition for them. Then Elvis does it as a white person, and all of a sudden he gets recognition. That is so not true, is it? It's so not true because in a time where there was so much division, in a time when it was easier to pick sides and being of his persuasion, it would have been easier to just go, you know what, I'm white, I'll just stick with being white. Why do I need to cause any negative press on myself when I could just be white? He said no. He said no because he recognized the importance of humanity. He said no because he realized that whilst your skin differs from mine, we were created from the same source. He could have easily gone into that arena and performed on his own and left the girls behind because that's what people wanted. But whilst people might want that, he understood his weight. He understood himself and what he believed in. You want me? I come as a package. If you don't want them, that's fine. You just don't get me. And how, oh my days. This man got disowned for dancing. Literally, people had time to go around checking stores to see what music they were playing. That's how much bitterness and hatred that people had for each other because you don't look like me or I don't look like you. If we could invest that time, that energy, can you imagine how great we can create this planet? It's just giving me a different perspective on this dude. He's I've been surprised about the music he's been performing. I've been surprised because I didn't see that bit coming. And I've been in awe of his music because this man puts his heart and soul into performing. And that is just so refreshing and amazing to watch. Wow. Does anybody have the link for the part 2? Please. Okay. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you guys want to let me know, please. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Am I exaggerating? I don't think I am. I have a tendency of over-analyzing situations sometimes, but I'm very, very confident that this is not one of them. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you like what we're all about, please like, subscribe, and join our community. I'm very mindful as well that my videos are so long, which is why we've created a podcast, so we can have these sort of conversation on the podcast instead. Just can't help myself sometimes. Do still let me know if you were able to make it to the end. Let us know what you think. And until next time, people, you guys make sure you look after yourself and you stay safe. It has been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.